Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm gonna get started here in just a second. Just kind of getting a few things set up. Let's see if I am live. I don't see myself live on Twitch yet. Alright, let me redo that then. Yes, I am running epics again on Orion. I'm not in a place to do that. Oh, hey, there we go. Alright. Hello, everybody. Should be live on the YouTubes and the Facebooks as well. I see myself on Cool. Alright. Hello and welcome everybody to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/DungeonsandDragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. Thank you so much for being here. I am DDO's Community Manager Cordovan, live on Orion today. I'm going to be doing a little bit of epic questing, U39 style here in just a little bit. You may notice that I'm currently in Meridia. Why am I in Meridia? That's because this is one of the characters that I am flagging up for the upcoming Shroud Palooza. This is being put together by Even and Bonnie Bew. Bonnie Bew has been doing this previously. So if you were involved in previous Shroud Paloozas, you might know the crazy fun times to expect, but if not, you can check it out at shroudpalooza.com. Kicks off in early October, runs all the way through January, and it is what you think. It is running the Shroud on every single server with multiple, at least, depending on the turnout, raid groups. So if you've ever wanted to have a full party heroic Shroud with your friends and maybe strangers who will soon be your friends, you might want to check this one out. She is also giving away prizes and doing some fundraising for Extra Life, which helps children's hospitals and that sort of thing. So you can find out more at shroudpalooza.com and get involved. I can't make every session of every server, but I'm going to do my best to attend as many of them as I can. Also, most of them, provided that one of us is available to do it, will be streaming this over on DDO Stream as well through the duration of the event. So if you want to find out more about that, let me know. Hey, Druid's Fire, Edward, Raven, Fire the Dragon Leader Master, Robert Forehand, Cosmic Dog, Craig, Starry Knight, Sir Smash, T13. Hey everyone, how's it going over on Facebook? Karen, Labaroja, Jody, Danielle, really appreciate you being here today. And also welcome and hello to everyone over on YouTube. Should I start moving the new Daily Dice stuff from the Daily Dice Talk? Oh, okay, that's a Wiki Talk question. So, I don't know. Do whatever they want to do there. Okay, so let me real quick before I get started here call out the one bit of significant news here that we have going on, and that is just today we released Update 39 Patch 2. This one's been in the works for a while, but we were finally able to bring it to the live server, so released today. We redid Power Surge to deal with the bug issue and also kind of redo the coding on it from the ground up. To some folks, it's a little bit of a nerf because it has fewer charges, but overall, it's no longer considered an action boost, so it'll do some kind of nice synergy with some action boosts and things like that. And you can just find out more about Power Surge in one cut if you want to. We also do have a quick fix to blinding speed. Now matches the description now matches what it actually does. So practice in-game, nothing's changing, but the description is changing a little bit. Also added its 1% dodge bonus. We've added War Paint to the Mysterious Remnants vendor. These go into the cosmetic headgear slot in your Druid, Wolf, or Bear forms. and that's something pretty cool. We also have updated Crystal Cove weapons for the next time they come back. Updated some Fjarland Carnival weapons to now have their minimum level. The Cursed Shard is now properly cold iron. We fixed a bug with some old kind of hand wraps. The Bastard Sword Spinal Tap now goes to D11, of course. It really should have from the very beginning. You can now get some mythic versions of things and return to White Plume Mountain. We fixed a pretty significant issue with the sentient gems and adding spark to them. There's some people in the forums. It's a little complex to get into now, but we fixed that bug. So you've been holding off on that. You can do that now. We finally took care of the 2017 Night Revels ingredients, since Night Revels is coming up real soon. The big changes for patch 2 are these melee survivability changes. We've talked quite a bit about the epic defensive fighting feat previously. Read the release notes if you want to know what it does, but it essentially gives you a whole bunch of hit points depending on the amount of applicable feats you have, basically the weapon fighting feats, in addition to natural fighting. But in exchange for that toggle, you're giving up your spell casting down to a touch range, and giving up your range power and double shot. Because it's meant to be really a melee thing, not something to help out ranged as well. The other thing is we also have added percentage-based damage reduction to barbarians, and you can read a little bit more about that. We've added a new NPC in the Hall of Heroes, Ailenwy Melodic. Basically the stuff that you get from daily dice that are cosmetics. Let's say you already have it, or maybe you don't want it. You can now deconstruct those unwanted daily dice cosmetics into glamored dust, and then use that dust to make the cosmetics you want to get from daily dice. Now, this only applies to cosmetics from daily dice, so anything you get from, say, festivals or end rewards or however else you'd get it outside of daily dice are not available in this vendor. But the vendor will specifically turn your unwanted daily dice cosmetic rewards into wanted ones. So kind of a nice thing there. We have reopened finally Enter the Kobold because there was an issue with the puzzle where you couldn't complete it. You know, did a little bit of work on Evening Star Frills. I think that NPC is no longer buried in a bush. And a minor issue with a minimum value of 1 now applies consistently in Reaper scaling. One nice thing, skill bonus grouping strings now have more accurate tooltips, and the feats are now organized by category in the character sheet. How cool is that? So you go to your feats section, and you can now see epic feats, special feats, basic feats, combat styles, crippling strike, defensive feats, and all that sort of thing. Now it does look like we have a few squares that what should be octagons and all that sort of thing. But nonetheless, this is a pretty nice change that'll help you better sort through and find the feats that you were looking for. This was just in Twitch chat. The Reaper change is a lie. It's not working for Force Ritual +1 force damage on weapons. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I have a tell that I got in-game from Amerithelia. Please, can you let the love of my life know that I love him? He's logged in as Angoss, A-N-G-O-S-S. We met on here, DDO, 6 years ago. So congratulations, Angoss and Amerithelia. It's always lovely to see that stuff. All right. That's really all the major news. We are working toward a Lamania preview of Update 40. Not all of it. I don't think it's going to have the new raid, for example. But we are working on a Lamania potentially for next week. Stay tuned. There are some things that could prevent that from happening. But we're working toward a Lamania preview of Update 40, and it might well happen next week. That would be really the new Night Revel stuff. And then probably a following Lamania preview to that will be the new raid. And I don't know if we mentioned that we're doing a new raid. Yeah, we're doing a new raid. Torque's making it. So that's pretty cool. I have found something that seems to not be working as intended on a druid with a falcon retrieve. Cast Nature's Ally, and you have out your falcon. Once the ally shows up, the falconry pet despawns. So, Minders... Oh, that... yeah, that doesn't sound right. It's supposed to be independent, I believe, of summons, but, okay. Thanks for calling that one out. When will we get the ability to see what our spell penetration DC breakdown is? Hopefully someday. It's... Dynamically updating the character sheet on that is, my understanding, a little bit of a challenge. Why would Warpaint go into the head slot instead of the armor slot? Valid point. Alright, let's do Price of Freedom on hard. I don't know. I mean, the answer is because we decided to put it in the head slot, but, could well go there, yeah. Greetings from Chile. Hey, awesome. Why did the new client completely reset all your settings? Jeepers. I don't know. It's not supposed to. As to why, the reason I tend to... Nice. Doris.
Doris opens her backpack.
Oh,
Everybody take a
yes.
wand.
Very
you need
good.
one to get into the prison. It'll probably help when you're inside, too. Good luck, fleshies.
Alright, so we need to make our way over to the prison. With this wand. Okay, let me get to chat here in a second, then I will do this. Will it have the echo item upgrades? I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, so let me finish my thought on resetting the settings. The thing I have most often seen that be caused by is if you have it set in your Windows UAC. What? Okay. So it's usually either a Windows UAC thing or you have the game client set in a drive that doesn't have, or at least has somewhat questionable write permissions. So what'll happen sometimes is it'll basically redo it rather than do what it's supposed to do. So it is annoying. But one thing you can actually do if you really run into this issue consistently on your character is go ahead and take the INI file and drop it into like a Dropbox or something like that. Oops. Ah, I'm not gonna make it. Oh yeah! Nice. Oops. Didn't make any forward progress that time. having wings on this one is kind of nice. Oh no! Dang it. No! Whoa. How am I getting a super jump there? Nice. Alright. Made it up. Not too bad. Okay. Why would... okay, I already did that one. Love the housekeeping on the character sheet. 2 issues about the Spear and Scion. I do not understand about the Wood Elf. So, Spear and Scion would be something that we'd have to consider for the future. Spear would really be an animation issue. Not that we couldn't do it, but it would be a lot of work. Scion might happen someday. If we were to bring psionics into DDO, it would be a pretty significant system as well. We'd want it to be complementary rather than compete with spell points. You know, if we just made, say, spell point version 2, I don't know that that would really be what we'd want to do. But yeah, you know, potentially. I know, I've actually heard Sev say that he wants to do Scion at some point, so, you know, we'll see. Maybe someday it'll happen. When the content is right and time falls into place and all the other factors. Now, in regard to don't understand about the Wood Elf, so the idea behind Wood Elf is we want to do what's called a racial variant. It's not a full-on new race, largely in terms of the amount of work involved to make it happen, but it would also offer some unique kind of look and feel to the characters for those who want it. So, for example, the Wood Elf, I think the big reason at this point is, at least under the current design, it'll not have a con penalty. So all you folks who are like, I'd play an elf if I didn't have a con penalty, you're going to get your wish. But because they're not a full-on new race, they will kind of have a shared... sorry, I don't want to not die here. They really won't have much in the way of like new enhancements or things like that on them, but they will have a new look to them, and so that's cool. But because of that, we had to go back and forth, well, should we make people earn another past life or not on them? And ultimately I've opted to not give it its own past life. So it'll count toward your elf racial past life, regardless of whether you play a regular elf or a wood elf. The advantage of that, of course, is it's one less race you need to do for racial completionists. The downside of that, of course, is it's, you know, one fewer racial action point or what have you. But overall, we wanted to start, because if this is successful, we'd like to do more of these. We kind of wanted to set the precedent that it wouldn't require a new past life. In exchange for it, you know, kind of not being 100% a new race. But they look cool. I would show you what they look like, because we have a really awesome looking image that is out for approval to be able to use. But I can't show you the new image, because it's not yet approved. However, potentially as soon as this next week here on Lamania, you might be able to see it for yourself. I'm really happy with the way they look. They're still very elven, but they are far less, I don't know, I guess they look maybe a little... Actually, so let me... For those of you who play Lord of the Rings online as well, you'll know that the they recently did an avatar update on a bunch of races there, and it's not entirely dissimilar in terms of sort of the philosophy behind it, so there you go. Man, why am I so slow? Do I have a haste pot? What's casting slow on me? How about a special Night Revels-like event for Ravenloft? So potentially we could have like a special Ravenloft dungeon, but we can't specifically tie it to Night Revels because Night Revels is an Eberron event, and Ravenloft does not take place in Eberron. So, for example, if we did a Ravenloft thing, we likely would not be able to give it Night Revels rewards. Not to say that we couldn't find a way around that, you know, but still. But we have cool new stuff coming to Night Revels, including an awesome raid that'll be coming up, so it's going to be rad. Spectral Dragon thing's coming back. We have a new Night Revels dungeon. We're turning largely the Night Revels public instance into a private instance, and that's really a performance issue thing. It should be, hopefully, significantly better performance as a result. Do you guys have a preference as to how you sort of go through this? Anyway, I highly recommend, just as a general policy, to take, if you're techie enough to be willing to do it, I really recommend taking that INI file that you can find in like your DDO My Documents thing and dropping it into a Dropbox. You can do some really nice things with kind of customizing your layout and UI and kind of default settings and all that sort of thing. Provided you don't, you're techie enough to not not bust things. I'm sure customer service would like me to remind you that all of this is done at your own risk, and if you screw up your computer because you did something you weren't supposed to do, that is entirely your fault. But I would recommend it, so it's a useful thing to have because it's also portable. You can take it, like if you have to reinstall DDO, or if you're installing DDO on another computer or something like that. Quite a useful thing to do.
The rehabilitation officer floats towards you. She says,
that's what I get for looking away from the screen. Alright, yeah, you know, so one of the tips someone was saying, if you look up and use the wand at the beginning of the jump, you can generally get a much better jump. That's probably true, but I kind of have my own way of doing it, and it's been working for me, so I kind of just, I'm going to keep doing that. But I appreciate what you're saying. What convention is SSG going to have a presence at? We are not a bunch of big convention goers so far at SSG. They tend to be expensive, and we tend to use our money for other things. It's not to say it won't ever happen. We did at Gen Con have an official player meetup here this time, so that was rad. We have also, I'm sure for PAX East we'll have either an official or unofficial player meetup. You won't need a ticket to PAX East to attend that. That'll just be in the Boston area somewhere. So we've tended to do that more often than, say, you know, pay the
what are you doing in my kitchen?
Whatever amount of money it would take to do a formal, say, convention space, which is often more expensive than you'd think to do that stuff. We've opted instead to do like player meetups and that sort of thing. Not to say we won't ever do it, but at this point, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for us. Gonna hit that chest here in a second, but let me get the door. Yeah, Fire the Dragon Leader says I should mention to never, ever edit the default file, edit a copy clone of the file. Yeah, it's probably true. Or you could be an idiot like myself and edit the default file and then suffer the consequences. I haven't broken anything yet. Southern California is always forgotten. Well, to be fair, Southern California is pretty much the hub of all video game companies. So it's not that forgotten. But we happen to be on the other side of the United States, so... There's actually been a thought that I might be attending TwitchCon this year. But that wouldn't be a formal SSG presence, although it might be. But it would be more me kind of going to TwitchCon to hang out with streamers and do some biz. But that's not actually determined yet. I don't know. We don't have any tickets or anything yet. But it's something we're considering. And that's in San Jose. Otherwise, you may just have to wait until I choose to go to the Classic Game Expo, which I'd love to do someday. Player meetup in Denver or Colorado. The only way I could see us doing a player meetup in Colorado, I actually have some family in the Boulder area. My dad lives out that way. So if I was to visit that area long enough that it would make sense to do like a player meetup as well, then that's something I might be able to do. But otherwise, I don't see us doing an official kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, I love conventions, you know, lots of people like conventions, so, you know, but frankly, they're not cheap, so they're kind of, I mean, it's pretty easy to drop 50 grand on a convention, like between the insurance and the electricity and the kiosk and what have you, so...
Talbron can't leave his cell until the spell keeping him here is broken. However, he is able to offer you a key that he stole from a guard.
It's true, you're right, Fire the Dragon Leader, that the relative of gaming, big gaming conventions in the Midwest is largely due to the fact there's not a lot of game companies in the Midwest. There are some, though. I mean, Chicago, Champaign. But yeah, as someone who grew up in the Midwest, I feel your pain, man.
Bailiff Blackstone Cap.
You make the bailiff fail. Let's see. Oh, that's true. There is Austin actually is a pretty big hub, and they've got there's now a PAX Austin, isn't there? Although I guess maybe being a Minnesota boy, I never really considered Texas the Midwest. Maybe maybe that's just me. But that's true, there's the Rooster Teeth thing as well. Yeah. But like I say, Texas ain't the Midwest, is it? I mean, I guess technically. I never really considered it to be the Midwest. Alright, what's the deal with crushing unwanted cosmetics for new cosmetics? This one comes from our YouTube chat. So the main thinking on this is that we wanted to give people something to do with the daily dice rewards that they perhaps didn't have a whole lot to do with otherwise, either because they already had it, you know, so if you get it again, we didn't want it to be a feel bad, but also to help people, because we've heard your pain on things like, say, the thinking cap, where some folks are like, all I want is the thinking cap, can I please get it someday? And the intention is, yes, as a matter of fact, if you get enough of the other cosmetics, you can get that one. So it was kind of multi-purposed as to why we decided to go with the cosmetic thing there. But overall it's pretty cool, so hopefully it's a change people will appreciate. Would we ever consider doing something with Rooster Teeth? I mean, you know, I guess if the stars aligned, maybe. Alright, Gabriella, again, this is over on YouTube. Love the new categories and the feats. Looks really neat and organized. Also, is there any news regarding a potential sorcerer enhancement pass, like it was hinted at a few streams ago? The answer to that is yes-ish, in that we would like to do a sorcerer enhancement, some sorcerer work, in addition to probably wizard work as well, in the relatively near future, but we don't have an exact time frame for it to announce. But I would expect that to be, you know, when we next have time to turn our attention to some kind of class balance and class work. I would not be surprised at all if they were next on the list. When are we going to get a trunk or something to put cosmetics in? That is something we are investigating. No promises, but it's something that we are hoping to bring to you in the relatively near future. We haven't actually done any implementation work, as I understand it, at this point, but you know, hopefully at some point here soon. You want a tower shield made out of bacon that has a constant hate magnet? That's pretty funny. I like it. I want the throne beer mug. You know, that just seems to make a lot of sense, and it is something we don't have yet. So I keep bugging Linabelle and Steel Star on that one. We will not be seeing Wood Elf and Tiefling until next year, question mark? No. As a matter of fact, Wood Elf is set for update 40, which is the Night Revels update here coming next. So we are actually pretty darn close to seeing Wood Elf. And to cloaks, will the Scarlet Scale Cloak look like it's made of dragon scales? I don't think we have a dragon scale cloak ready yet. I don't think it's coming. I'm sure we will at some point, but I don't think it's in this initial kind of run. Randy the Snout. Regrets nothing. Now I've actually heard of people taking these folks down all the way to the bottom with them to help kind of clear things out, but I don't know.
Sister Paulina arches a brow. You've been so very but we both know.
Ooh. There's a one-shot. How much does for a cosmetic? I don't actually know, but you could find that in the Hall of Heroes. My understanding is it's multiple to one, but I'm not really prepared to speak as to the exact rotation there. I don't know. I haven't had time to really look at it. 10 dust for turn in, 40 dust for basic, 60 for rare. Okay. Cool. Oh no, we lost someone. Oh, I thought she was already dead. Oops. Free anniversary cloak. Nothing to formally announce on that, but that sounds like something we might well do in the future. Will the Maybar Dragon Eternity ever return as a challenge instead, as I noticed he got a mention in one of the new items? Yes. It's going to be part of the new Night Revels stuff. So, you'll find out more about that real soon. Nice. Maybe a cosmetics tab like the pets tab? Yeah, perhaps something like that. Alright, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm testing out a new microphone today. So let me know how it sounds, and I'll be going through the sound check afterwards, kind of hearing how I sound and what have you, to see if this is something that we want to use more permanently, but I think so.
States the obvious. You're not supposed to be here. Your inevitable punishment is death. Yet some will find this objection.
For the techies out there, this is a Shure PGA 48. A fairly low-priced microphone. I picked this up for... it was on sale, but it was about 45 bucks. And that was at a place real close to the office here called You Do It Electronics. It's a pretty rad little place. But I wanted to get... because, you know, when we've done our developer interviews and what have you, we've tended, hey, I know this place. Let's go search out the other stuff, huh? We've had to kind of share one mic, and I want to have a multi-mic set up so that I can have at least 2 different microphones so that we can, you know, have people go and each have their own microphone for these Ask the Devs and things like that. Or at least I'd be more likely to have to share fewer microphones. So that's really what the motivation is for getting another mic here. But because it's, you know, a brand new mic, I wanted to test to see how it sounded when I used it, so that way I can kind of get a sense of how to fine-tune it if necessary and figure out what's good. The current time is 12:41 p.m. At the tone, the time will be 12:43. Deep. Is there a decision on how long Night Revels will run? Yes. I'll get to the weekly bonus here in just a little bit. Did we fix the... yeah, we need to go all the way back down here. Did we fix the collectible bags in White Plume Mountain? For free-to-play guildies, will they be able to play Night Revels if they did not purchase Deleras? On the second half, yes. The Graveyard instance is its own instance, so even if you don't have Deleras when that event is active, you can get into the Deleras Graveyard instance. You could previously when it was a public instance, and now you'll be able to as well, as it's a private instance. On fixing the collectible bags in White Plume Mountain. So, I think the issue with that is some of the monsters are dropping bags they should not be. So that's why typically if you try to click on a collectible treasure bag and you get nothing, it's because it's not supposed to drop a treasure bag. By the way, I hope you enjoyed Double Daily Dice recently. I've been digging it. Ooh, I got some guiding hands. Nice. I don't save my XP gems. I know some people like to hoard them and what have you, but... we're going all the way basically to the bottom again, aren't we? If I recall correctly. Did search and rescue stuff get fixed yet? Again, that is a situation where they're not supposed to be dropping those bags, but they are.
You have Dr. Bloodstein's attention.
Dr. Bloodstein.
He says, are you here?
That's good stuff. Ah! No. I mentioned Lamania opening. Is that for an update preview or something else? Yes. That will be for our first preview of Update 40. Stay tuned on the exact timing of that. It's, you know, we have a whole bunch of things to do between now and next week. If we were to get it out in time for next week, we'll have to see. But assuming we can get that stuff all put together in time, then it'll be our first preview of the new Night Rebels stuff. And again, you'll also see the Wood Elves, I believe. and probably a few other things as well. So it's going to be a nice meaty preview. Is not going to have the raid though. That's the one thing I know is not yet in a previewable state. Oh, it's the items on the shelves that that are not working. Okay. I have to say, I like this quest for its collectibles. A lot of nice collectibles here. Alright, now we're actually going to the other side of the prison there, right? The one where we kind of came from? Where am I going? There's a hallway around here, wasn't there? Or am I completely... Yeah, here we go. Thanks. Are druids supposed to be able to use ranged weapons in bear or wolf form? I believe the answer to that is no. And again, we're... Oh, are we going all the way down? Yeah, we're going all the way down on this one too, aren't we? By the way, do you like the name of my... Oh no! Creature companion? Carbs. You know, it's crabs, but I switched the A and the R. Yeah, I'm a genius. It's true. Nice. Will Crushing Despair ever be fixed? If it's cast on you, it basically ends up as a really short AoE effect and hits you dozens of times, so you're pretty much guaranteed to fail. I don't know on that one. That one is not familiar to me. And I don't really cast Crushing Despair, so I don't know. Don't really know what to say on that one. Sorry. Alright, so what do we have left to do here? We're looking for the Dimensional Anchor. That character is kind of gimpy. Lol, wrecked. Pretty much. I just pretty much just derp 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 smash, you know. Alright. I'm helping. Good job with White Plume Mountain. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am I think we're all real happy, both internally and you folks, about that. So how would well, yeah. I'm not getting into the whole how could a bear in wolf form or something, or a druid in bear form shoot a bow. The answer is no. It's not supposed to We're not doing it. I don't know, Ron, over on YouTube, whether... I'll have to ask about the use of collectible bags in White Queen Mountain. I don't have a good answer for you right now. I'm sorry. I'll have to follow up on that to see what the state of that, you know, what is it supposed to be and what is it. So.
You've come far. Your destiny is sealed your fate.
Oh. Aww. I'm bad at this game. Come on, claw myself to a bear argument. I will bear with you. Nice. Yeah. Sure, okay, so a bear can shoot a bow, but it takes 10 times as long. So you get to shoot 1 arrow every minute. Oh no! Ah. Alright, let's I guess let's just sort of get up to the top here. Try to do this a little bit more coordinated, see if we can get this done. This is pretty tricky. Are there any plans to interview some of the people who developed the game? Yes. So quite regularly we try to bring on developers to talk about stuff when it's appropriate, when they're willing to give up their lunch hour or what have you to get it done. So, you know, it's something to do. Let's kind of just sit here for a couple minutes, wear off some of these death penalties. Unless it's just me, but yeah. It makes sense that the animal form cannot do certain things. They have benefits, and balance is key with druids. Yep, yep. This is going to be a tough fight. I don't really have any good ranged weapons on this character either. Alright, you want to give this a shot? No! God dang it! Oh! In other news, today is capping day. Very cool. Are Paladins due for a pass after Sorcerer Wizard? I do think, I mean, I remember we've already done Paladins, although it's quite a while ago now. Man, I don't know if we're gonna do this. I mean, we're getting there, but talk about tricky, huh? Oh, I do have a... This is from back when I was a mechanic. I guess it's better than nothing. Alright. But I do think we'll probably see some work on Paladins in the future, but we have some other stuff to do first. Oh. There's the wands for this. Uh-oh. No! Oh, hold me in place, why don't ya? So doomed. Okay. I actually find Paladin to be pretty awesome, so I don't know about this, but... I don't know if I agree. Should have run it on casual. Yeah, probably. Dang it. Come on. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take off, I think. I think we might have to just call this one, unfortunately. I can't stick around because I have a doctor's appointment I gotta go to. Basic checkup, nothing to worry about. If you guys want to keep cracking on this one, though, go ahead. But I think I'm gonna have to call it. Alright, so that is actually going to have to wrap it up here with Weekly Wednesday and Lunchtime live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Up next is Samus Garobo. He'll be hosting us here and on broadcasting on his channel. I do appreciate you being here. I'll be back next week. If Lamania is up by then, we'll probably try to do a spoiler light Lamania preview. But if it's not, then we'll be on Sarlona. And that'll probably have epic level running stuff. So, didn't get to the weekend bonus. Okay, let me get to that real quick before I call it a show. And I will get you all in game here DDO points code. It won't be today. It'll hopefully be tomorrow. I will get you guys a DDO points code here as well. Won't be today, but it'll hopefully be tomorrow. Alright, so... Double Commendations of Valor is what we have going on here this weekend. Double comms. Alright, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for Samus Garobo. You can find our full schedule over on the Twitch page. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.